welcome to Nug Cymek Review DC Comics, where this is 1 year, the issue 0 of DC Comics, and Nug and I will review it. I'm Andrew Cymek.
And I'm Nug. Should we talk about what happened before a year ago?
Sure.
The way the 0 issues talk about what happened before the New 52?
Sure, where were we a year ago?
A year ago, we were talking, I talked to you about, I had this stupid idea to read all the New 52, at least through the first arc.
Yeah, Nug came to me, he's like, let's, well, he said, I think I'm going to review all of the comics for the first arc. And I said, wow, that sounds like fun.
Oh, you were wrong. I was wrong, too. But yeah, I thought I'd do it. And then this dummy says, hey, you know what, I'll do it with you.
It's always better. Misery loves company.
Misery loves company. And so, yeah, we really did it like for every week of the first arc of all these comics.
I think the first 16 weeks, every week we did it. It was great having someone to share that with.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun.
It was fun. It was a good time. We learned a lot. We read a lot of things we didn't necessarily want to read, but we found a silver lining in almost every issue. Something good out of every issue.
Always look to the positives.
That's right. Always. And now, so another 6 or 7 issues later, here we are at the 0 issues. Which I think it's fun to mark the 1 year with the 0 issues.
Yeah.
But it sucks for a lot of the arcs that have one more issue to go, and then we interrupt it with this 0 issue. Like I know Aquaman feels like it's just I want them to
next
go.
Week, the climax to Aquaman. But wait, first
let's learn about Aquaman before Aquaman. Which is what this current arc's all about. So it kind of freaks me out a little. It's like
a little bit, but you have to appreciate what DC's doing line-wide.
Yeah, it's
true. They had this idea for this, relaunch 52,
and they carried it out.
Yeah.
And I think overall, some of the lesser heroes from before the New 52, like Animal Man and Swamp Thing, they've gotten a real nice boost.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You've introduced new characters to the DC universe, like the Stormwatch crew, and brought back some other characters like Demon Knights. And with the Zeros, we're getting Phantom Stranger and Amethyst, and we're getting a whole new Team 7, which is a Wildstorm concept, but meshed with the DC. Yeah. We've seen some issues get canceled, titles get canceled. We've seen new titles pop up. We've seen some issues continue, even though I'm curious as to why. But I think overall it's a successful experiment. When you reboot the whole line, and your big titles are still your big titles, but then new titles get a new life, like Aquaman and Swamp Thing and Animal Man and these characters are brought to the forefront. It's a success.
Yeah, and on top of that, the big titles are even bigger with the relaunch.
Yes.
If you look at the numbers.
Yeah, if you're looking just at the numbers, they've done a really great thing. Yeah. Good enough for another company to try and attempt the same thing soon. Now, let's say. Yeah. Now they're going to do this now.
Now, what company would possibly be reactionary to what DC Comics does?
You mean now?
Now.
I don't
no idea.
No clue. Now? No idea. But we're here to talk about these comics. Yeah. We read a bunch of the 0 issues this week. Let's start off, first of all, I want to start with the Watchmen.
Sure.
The before Watchmen stuff.
Yeah.
Something that was, I'm going to say, 75% of the comic book universe went, don't you dare touch it. Yeah. And since it's been out, it's been quite good.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a couple of books I haven't enjoyed, but I would say if the number you're estimating is 75% didn't want this to happen, I would say I'd be part of the 25%.
Yeah,
because
I was on board.
Comic book medium is always about new creators coming on board, other on titles that they don't didn't create, and seeing where fresh eyes and fresh ideas take those characters. So I was actually curious to see what happened. The art teams and the creative teams that they put together on Before Watchmen was amazing. Yeah. One of the Before Watchmen titles that I was really unsure about was the Dr. Manhattan. And Adam Hughes, I love his pinups, right? And his art is beautiful. And in this, it was amazing. Dr. Manhattan blew it out of the water for me. I thought it was a great book.
The one I am enjoying the most, I mean, hands down for me, I love the Minutemen book quite a bit. Silk Spectre's great, but the one that I've really been enjoying is Ozymandias.
Yeah, and out of all the Watchmen characters, Ozymandias is the one that I
knew the least about.
Didn't really care about him at all. but the team is really killing it, and it's really good. With Silk Spectre, that book continues to be great. I have a huge comic book crush on Amanda Connor.
And rightly so.
I think all of her work is amazing. And this, Silk Spectre continues to be great. But yeah, Ozymandias, Dr. Manhattan, I thought those were standouts so far because I wasn't expecting them to be great.
No, not at all. It's so funny. It's not like I had my expectations lowered by these books being don't make them.
Yeah.
From everyone online. We're so positive online. But it was unexpected that they were going to be as good as they are, and I'm really enjoying them. And I'm glad.
What do you think of Rorschach? Because we didn't bring up Rorschach. Out of all those titles, we actually didn't say Rorschach.
We didn't say Rorschach. Rorschach, he's a tough character. Like, he's a difficult character to understand and to get behind, and you kind of cheer for him because he's like that Boba Fett.
He's a badass.
He's a badass, yeah. And so seeing him pre-badass and how he gets turned into a badass, it's not the most positive story. Yeah. It's not going to turn out well. We know how it turns out. He turns into Rorschach.
Yeah.
But I like this. He's Rorschach. Because we got kind of his kid story in Watchmen. Yeah. But so this is the on the way to becoming part of the team kind of stuff.
And Bermeo's art is...
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And it's just a dirty book. It's one of the dirtier books of the bunch.
So I know this is very tough because there's a lot of good in Before Watchmen. What's your best Before Watchmen so far? What's your worst?
For me, the best is Minutemen. Okay. I love everything about it because it feels like JSA to me. It feels like the Golden Age heroes, which I love. So I like that kind of stuff, and I like that book quite a bit. For me right now, the Comedian's not doing it for me.
Right, so for me as well, I'd say low point Comedian for me. Yep. It's not doing it for me because you went with Minutemen, and I agree it's also very good. I'm going to go with Silk Spectre right now as the best, but Dr. Manhattan, Ozymandias also.
They're all great.
Very, very
and I'm really looking forward to, there's actually going to be a Moloch miniseries in January, which is kind of cool.
It's kind of cool that they're actually continuing the line. I thought that this was it.
Me too, but I like that it's done well enough that they're like, let's do a Moloch one.
What's the line? Nothing ever ends?
Yeah, why would it?
Yeah. There you go.
Wait, this is going to end though, right? We're going to stop this at some point?
Eventually.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Sure.
What do you want to talk about? The DC new. We kind of did like a line-wide recap last time.
Yeah, we did. So let's talk about the Zero issues.
Okay, the Zeros. The first batch of Zeros came out this week, and it's all legacies. It looks like it's all legacies. Every issue is before the New 52, and if the New 52 is kind of the first appearance of superheroes, or 5 years beforehand, let's say.
Yeah.
This is all the past, and the ones that weird me out, the ones that make me uncomfortable, are Phantom Stranger getting an origin, and the Unknown Soldier having an origin. The two strangers and unknown things now have solid origins.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I enjoy it. I'm not going to say, people are like, oh, you're bringing the Bible into the DC Comics with the Phantom Stranger issue. However... there's been a lot of biblical type characters in DC Comics before. I know a bunch of them have been listed on websites all over the place, know. But who can forget the Seraph of the Global Guardians who carried all those biblical items into battle?
Yeah.
You remember Israel's greatest hero, the Seraph?
And also, I mean, the Spectre was always
Judgment.
God's wrath.
And Zoriel.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon. I think most of the issue is the fact that what made Phantom Stranger cool was that
you didn't know who
he was. Having said that, I think I said in a previous review where the New 52 is all about trying new things.
Yep.
So this hasn't been done. Let's try it.
Oh, let's give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot, right? So why not? We'll see. And then if it doesn't work a couple of years, they'll just say, oh well, we'll reboot that.
Now here's the thing: Phantom Stranger 0. Mm-hmm. He's on his Earth walking to do the will of wherever he needs to go.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Is that Dead Man?
Yeah. But
okay.
Different
gods?
Different gods.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And the problem is a lot of these, when you're bringing all these characters to the forefront and really flushing these ideas out, you do tend to see that they're very similar.
What do you mean? Wonder Girl's armor and Blue Beetle's armor and Hawkman's armor all growing out of them?
Yeah. that. So when you read all the comics, you kind of see a lot.
You
of
see patterns. It's all about patterns.
But overall, I actually enjoyed the Phantom Stranger book.
Oh yeah,
I thought that it was interesting in seeing Corrigan there and the Spectre in it.
Yep.
And, it's pretty cool. I'm curious to see where that's going. Standout for me so far on the Zero issues though has to be Earth 2 and World's Finest. I actually really, really like those books.
I am such a fan of Earth 2.
Yeah.
Now, one of the very first comics I picked up as a kid was the JLA, JSA meeting up on the satellite and the original Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan, being murdered by one of them. Mm-hmm. And it was such a great, it was like, who are all these people? Who's Mr. Terrific? He's dead and I never knew who he was.
Yeah.
And now Terry Sloan is back on Earth 2 and he's the, sorry to say it, Ozymandias of Earth 2. But he's logical and cold and calculating, smartest man on Earth.
I mean, the thing with, like you said, I mean, as soon as I said, oh, well, there's Ozymandias in Earth 2.
He's sitting like him. He's sitting like him at the end of the book.
Yeah, that's true, on his throne there. But, it's always, it's a fun theme that I like to read about, to be honest, is that we have these, superheroes that are trying to deal with, and, World's Finest kind of deals with this as well, where who forgets about the little people in the streets, right?
Yep.
While they're off fighting this global threat, right? I mean, you're kind of dealing with this idea of superheroes were meant to punch out bank robbers, and all of a sudden you have a threat with such a magnitude, and it really requires a different way of thinking, or does it? Right. And that kind of theme always appeals to me. So seeing it in Earth 2. It's fun with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then there's Mr. Terrific, who is supposed to be the smartest man.
And I like
I really liked it.
I like the little Easter egg Earth 2 had in it where he was naming the 8 wonders. He was clearly Mr. 8, and he was naming them all, and he skipped one, saying, for obvious reasons, anyone who knows this world knows why I'm skipping that one.
Yeah.
And we don't know this world, and I look forward to finding out who that is, because there's still one member of that Justice League. Now, it was on a panel where they were fighting a whole bunch of sea creatures. So, if I may, and it's an Earth 2 version of Aquaman, which has never really been seen before, I want to see this.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
That'd be cool. And World's Finest, it tells the backstory of Huntress. There's a death in it.
Yeah.
It's an important death. I really liked it. I thought that the last 3 pages were just kind of, it's like, we got to wrap this up.
We only have 3 pages, we got to cram everything in.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed the introduction of Kara and Helena's relationship. I really, really liked that.
How they met.
Yeah.
I also like, in the back of all these Zeros, there's a little Who's Who page. And I'm kind of a fan. I have all the old loose leaf Who's Who's in a couple of big binders. Yeah. I loved those as a kid.
You have all those?
I do. I still have them.
I actually cut them out.
Oh no, I have them all color-coded and everything in a couple of binders at home.
Wow.
I know, it's bad news. They take up a lot of room. But I loved the old Who's Who books, and the loose leaf was great, and so seeing this is great. Plus, if you read them, you kind of get an idea of where they're going with the story. For example, just in World's Finest, were they the only ones that came to our Earth?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Did anyone come from our Earth to theirs? Mr. Terrific. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice. And, okay, so let's go on to Animal Man Swamp Thing, because their Zeros are really the Arcane show.
The Zeros are more about Arcane, but what I like is it actually connects to the annuals that came out previously with the previous incarnations, the legacies, if you will, for Animal Man and Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
It actually, Animal Man, especially for me, does not tarnish anything that Grant Morrison did. It actually ties it in.
Yeah.
With the Taylors.
I did appreciate
I love them. I love the Taylors. For me, if you are characters called the Taylors and you dress terribly, I love you. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Those little yellow guys are terrible.
I enjoyed Swamp Thing and Animal Man. The art's very grotesque.
Yes.
Which is, it's funny to say it's grotesque, but it's really nice. I mean, it suits the job. Arcane is picking apart both the avatars,
both legacies,
the green and the red.
Both the red and the green are getting taken apart by Arcane. He's clearly been at it for a while, and if you want to set up in this Rot World story that Arcane is a big bad guy, here's 2 issues back to back the same week that show you there's no chance for the red and the green unless something special happens.
That's an ultimate evil, and
it's real nice.
Raises the stakes. Now, Detective Comics #0, written by Greg Hurwitz. We were big fans of
the Penguin.
His
Penguin story was so good.
So now he's on board on this run on Detective for the 0 issue. I really liked it.
The Zero issue for me was pretty good. It had a couple of lines in it that I thought shone from the dialogue. Yeah. It seemed kind of to be along the Nolan Batman kind of thing, which I think works. I think if you're going to make anything work in Detective, for me, tie it into the Nolan stuff, or at least sort of connected. Since I haven't been following Detective, it was kind of easy to pick this up and and kind of go, oh, it's not just a big video game where everybody fights a boss at the end of every issue. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this is where Detective's going, because maybe I'll keep reading it.
For sure. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, there was a couple of lines in it that just I was like, yes, that was great. Oh, yeah. And it really does for fans of the Nolan universe. This is a great book to kind of see Bruce Wayne training. To how he.
Where are we on the arc of Detective? Like, is a new arc starting next month, or are we in the middle of one?
I think we just wrapped up.
Oh, good. So the next issue will be the beginning of a new arc?
I believe so.
Oh, perfect. Great time to jump on board. If you like Zero.
Yeah. If you liked it, because I mean, I did, and if you agree with what I usually say, which I'm sure a lot of you do, except for the guys at Geek Hard.
Oh, whatever.
We love them.
I love that we met the guys at Geek Hard at the Fan Expo, and they were like, "We're coming at you because we disagreed with everything you've said." And we were like, "Okay, can't wait." Yeah. And here they come, and it turns out that we agreed on a lot of things.
Well, you know what? When you talk about what you love instead of what you don't, you find that there is a lot of similarity. Yeah. And it's fun that the New 52 and comic books in general bring so many people together.
Well, yeah, and it gets more of a discussion going.
Yeah, exactly. So what else was in the Zeros?
Oh boy, stack of Zeros. What else do we get?
Action Comics.
Action Comics. The star of Action Comics is clearly the Cape, based on this issue. Yeah. And then backstory being Captain Comet, and then a guy who was recruited in the anti-Superman army. Yeah.
What do you think? See, I liked the Cape story.
The Cape story's fine.
I did. I liked the Cape story. I was kind of laughing at some of Clark's
his pacifist dialogue?
His pacifist dialogue while playing a video game. Clark, it's a video game. Yeah. You don't have to be serious all the time. Yep. If it was a lighthearted joke, that's fine. That's cool. I really liked the art in that opening bit with the Cape. It was actually a very sweet story. Curious as to that was the Zero issue, where others are more going into a lot of the past. And this is, we really just saw Superman wearing that outfit not too long ago in Action Comics, so it's not that far in the past either. I really liked it, but the backup in that issue, I could take it or leave it.
See, and I like Captain Comet. It's a weird take on Captain Comet, and he's probably become the most Grant Morrison superhero I've ever seen. Yeah. So he's going to take a while for me I'll love it, and then I'll go back and read everything and go, oh, okay.
And, so I just remembered what was the other big Zero issue that came out, Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, yes. Green Lantern with the new Green Lantern, who is, to quote, "I'm a car thief, not a terrorist."
So we're going to play this game now.
Oh, we're going to play the I'm a blank, not a terrorist?
I'm a blank, not a terrorist.
It could be anything.
Could be anything.
So, it could really be anything. I am, this is fun. I'm a janitor, not a terrorist.
Okay. I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. Oh. Not a terrorist.
Almost the same thing.
Sometimes it feels like that. But no hockey this year, so I'm wearing, once again, my Patriots.
No hockey yet. Don't get excited. There might still be hockey. Here's the thing. With Hal off the grid because of Black Hand. Yeah. And you need, apparently, 4 Green Lanterns on Earth. So here comes the new Green Lantern. His origin story is interesting because it puts him in direct conflict with the media and the government. Yeah. And now he's a superhero. A guy, it's all mistaken identity. Yeah. Until we find an origin story a year from now where it turns out it was all set up for him to take the fall in some way.
The one thing that I was saying is that it seemed very, there was a lot of coincidences for that to happen. And, I'm not a car thief. Oh. Or I am a car thief, but I'm not a terrorist.
I just happened to steal a van with a bomb in it. And my brother is in the government, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, the funny thing is Doug Mankey on art is just
it's gorgeous.
Amazing. And I actually enjoyed the story. We're kind of picking it apart because, it's, I do like the part you have the beginning, the ability to error, overcome great fear.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, so what's the error?
What's the error?
You know, it's
was this a mistake?
Yeah, it's you know, I can always appreciate new characters being brought in into the lore. So I enjoyed the book. Curious to see where it goes. Not the strongest, though. I didn't think it was
not the strongest of the Zeros. For me, I have to mention for last week's annual for Justice League International, because if you didn't pick it up, there's a lot of stuff in it that looks like ties into what's happening going forward.
That's right. We haven't talked about it. Superman and Wonder Woman.
Superman and Wonder Woman kissing. It's happened a lot of times.
Sure.
I don't know why people are freaking out.
I don't know.
I don't care. It's two characters. I love Wonder Woman's book.
But Superman and Wonder Woman kissing made Booster Gold disappear.
Superman and Wonder Woman kissing have to be stopped. Whatever the result of that is, if it's a lover's tiff that takes out 4 cities, if it's a baby, if it's the Earth splitting in half, it has to be fixed. Yeah. But also in JLI, Brother Eye has taken control of OMAC again. Oh, look, guys, OMAC's important. And it turns out Batman created Brother Eye in the first place again. So it looks like a little bit of Infinite Crisis.
Maybe carried through. I mean,
yeah. A lot of old ideas.
I loved Infinite Crisis.
Me too.
And it's like bringing this back. I'm like, I read this.
Yeah.
I read this. I liked it.
Bits of feeling in there.
I've read this.
Things make it feel like old school.
Maybe it'll be different this time.
Maybe it will. Maybe the satellite will win.
I don't know. The Superman annual, did you read it?
Oh, wait! There's one more important thing that happened in JLI.
Okay, what happened?
Booster Gold from the future says that Godiva and August General and one more will go form the Global Guardians.
Yeah.
They're back.
Yeah.
We all remember the Global Guardians, Tasmanian Devil, Jack-O-Lantern, Little Mermaid, Bushmaster, all of the great D-level heroes that will finally come back.
Yeah.
I'm excited, legit excited, but I don't know who else is excited about the Global Guardians coming back.
I'm not that excited.
Fingers crossed for Seraph. Fingers crossed for Seraph.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys.
So big Justice League International. You've probably seen it online. They're now making Justice League of America.
Yeah, the new one with all the badass heroes in it.
Yeah.
And Stargirl.
You know, and Stargirl, which
I'm excited. I love Stargirl.
I love Stargirl, so good to see her back. Really curious about that. The Superman annual will lead us into our next topic of conversation because it felt like it was cramming in all of what they wanted to do over the year into one book.
Wrap up everything.
It was probably a chore to write it and wrap everything up because it really seemed condensed.
Yep.
And it's like you try taking a year of stories in 4 lines, Hawkman, Grifter, Superman, that they're all going to combine into one annual. Like, I know it's a little bigger than other comics, but it just felt like it was on fast forward.
Yep.
And I can almost appreciate it going on fast forward, ending, and then going, okay, we're going to start something new.
It just feels like clean up every loose end, wipe the slate clean, and let's start over again. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. I mean, Rockefort and Lopdol on Superman, I'm really curious to where they go with that.
Well, I've liked everything Lopdol's done.
Yeah. So, you know, again, good luck with that. Which leads us into, we have to talk about the Twitter war.
Oh!
Between Scott Snyder and Rob Liefeld. Because I was at Fan Expo, and I turned to you, and I'm like, Nug, have you been on Twitter?
And I went, no! And then I went home that night and read the whole thing and came back and went, well, holy crap.
That was fun.
It was fun.
That was seeing, I mean, I always say, take the high road, always.
Yeah, but when you break up with your girlfriend and everyone told that girlfriend you were no good, and then you break up and everyone goes, see? Yeah. Then you got to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe take the girlfriend down a peg.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what happened.
You know what? It was a train wreck.
Oh, for sure it was.
You know, and like I said, I was hoping that there would be a good guy in it.
A high road. Someone just takes the high road.
Take the high road. It didn't happen until the very end.
Yep.
So I will say this. Twitter is awesome for that reason.
Oh, Twitter is the greatest.
You get a little bit of, you know, a peek at the infighting that was actually happening.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we haven't been huge fans of Liefeld's work. I mean,
that's generous.
Okay, and, you know, we've been fans of Snyder's work. So to see them kind of go toe to toe, and it really doesn't benefit anyone.
It doesn't benefit anyone, especially to do it publicly.
Yeah.
I can see how, since all I've read about Rob is that people, like, he cracks jokes a lot.
Yeah.
So I can see how at the beginning, friends would go, oh, he's joking around.
Yeah.
And then they might want to joke back with a similar insult. But then it just spiraled out of control when you realize quickly, oh, he's not joking.
Yeah.
I can see that happen. I'm not making excuses up for anybody, but I've been in fights with my friends where I've been like, oh, he's kidding. And then like 10 minutes later, oh shit, he's not kidding. No, he's super mad.
I'm a pacifist. I don't get into fights with anyone.
You'll drive the helicopter. You won't drive the gun.
I'll drive the helicopter.
I'll drive the helicopter.
Yeah.
Guys, those games make me seasick, so I'm not playing those games anyway.
Yeah.
Stormwatch, I loved it because you got to see Jenny Sparks again, which was cool, and that the Century Baby is a centuries-old concept. We got to see Merlin again, and Adam 1 is the same guy, blah, 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 which is great. Loved it.
Dial H.
Dial H was really cool and really, really interesting. Not to spoil it, but I love Sundial H for Hero.
That was pretty amazing.
It was really cool. I'm looking forward to the Zeros. I can't wait for Amethyst because I want to see how that ties in. It's going to tie into Jail Dark, so I want to read it.
Okay.
Sword and Sorcery, or whatever it's called. I love Demon Knights. I don't want to see it go away. So, and I liked Stormwatch actually tied in Demon Knights. Which was so great.
The Zero issue.
Which was great. What else? Real quick. What else is coming? The new ones. Oh, Talon.
Not excited about it.
Oh, we may change our minds when we read it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of the books that we weren't, really interested in reading, I, Vampire, it made us a believer of those books. Talon, I'm owled out. I love the story.
Me too.
It's just,
I'm really looking forward to the Joker arc.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens.
Everything that has been teased so far has just been great.
And I miss Riddler. Scott, I know, we've talked on Twitter. I'm glad Riddler's going to come back. And I know you can do something great with Riddler.
Well, now that he said it on Twitter, it's like a contract.
It's for real.
Verbal.
He meant it, guys.
He meant it.
Maybe after Joker, he said after Joker there could be some Riddler, which is, I love Riddler. So.
Yeah.
And then,
any sign
Team
of,
7?
But any sign of Red?
Oh, yeah, let's check that out. Let's go Red Tornado watch. Guys, still a year in, no sign of Red Tornado. I'm hoping Earth 2, maybe that other hero of the 8 was Red Tornado. And maybe his programming turned him, which is why he's not somebody they want to talk about. Because that's classic Red Tornado, right?
Yeah.
Red Tornado started on Earth 2. So
yeah.
Maybe he can be there again. People writing Earth 2.
Yeah, and, Red Tornado, he gets taken over pretty much every second story with Red Tornado.
He's the red shirt of the JLA. He's like they send him in. Yeah, you go check that out, Reddy. Then he blows up, and then they put him back together. And then they...
Good thing we sent an android.
Good thing we sent an android. Nobody really died, guys. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Get some respect, buddy.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's it for this week's show. We're not going to go weekly, but we're going to try to do the show
more often.
Now that we're back, our show, Dark Rising Warrior Worlds, we finished shooting it. It went extremely well, and I'm now editing it.
What I'd love, if possible, is to just insert a half-second clip of the show into here. Right here.
Oh, great plan. Just vague enough to be stupid as hell.
Wow. What, doesn't that look amazing?
I want to see that.
Right?
Yes.
Man, oh man. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody for watching this, and thanks to everyone who pushes us on Twitter. When are we getting a new one?
We love it.
We love it.
Sometimes we're like, you know what? We're not doing anything of importance today, so let's
do it. It's an excuse for me to drive out here and talk comics with Andrew.
Fantastic. So yeah, keep watching. Keep reading the comic books.
Keep reaching for the stuff.
We're going to try to do our next show, maybe not our next show, but a coming show at the new Silver Snail.
New Silver Snail,
so
the new location.
We'll give you guys a tour. And, have fun, guys.
There's been some